Welcome to Magic Academy Learn to Play. I'm Maria Bartholdi, MTG host, caster, and content creator. Today, I'm going to help you start playing my absolute favorite card game, Magic: The Gathering. Magic is a beloved trading card game played at local game stores and kitchen tables all over the world. With Magic, you always get to choose, from how to build your deck and what type of game you want to play, to which worlds to explore. It's a game of breathtaking art and story, legendary characters, and rich history. But most of all, what makes Magic incredible is the community. It's you. Welcome to The Gathering. When you're playing Magic, you become a Planeswalker, a spellcaster of incredible power, capable of traveling the planes of the multiverse, summoning hordes of monsters, and casting spells. Magic is defined by the 5 colors of mana, each with their own symbol and land. There is white, blue, black, red, and green. White protects and brings order. Blue uses intellect to deceive and outsmart. Black masters death and decay. Red is pure fury and chaos. And green calls upon life and nature. White is represented by plains, blue, islands, black, swamps, red, mountains, and you draw upon forests for green mana. To get started, choose a 30-card deck of the color that appeals to you the most. If you're feeling adventurous or you've played before, you can shuffle 2 30-card decks together to make a 2-color 60-card deck. Let's play a game. To get started, grab your deck and sit down across from a friend. Shuffle up and draw 7 cards. Each player's life total is set to 20. If you can knock your opponent down to 0, you win. The play area is split into these zones. This is your deck of cards, or your library. You shuffle it at the start of the game and draw your cards from it. Next on our tour is the discard pile, or graveyard. This is where cards go when they are destroyed or discarded. Exile is where cards go when they're removed from the game. When you draw cards, they go into your hand. This is private, so don't show your opponent. The rest of the play area in front of you is the battlefield. This is where permanent cards hang out when they're in play. Down here, you place your lands, which you draw upon or tap for mana needed to cast spells. Let's break down a card. We've got the card name.
Vampire Nighthawk.
Mana is energy that is used to cast spells. In the top right, each card has a mana cost. So Vampire Nighthawk requires 2 black mana, plus 1 mana of any color to cast. Creatures, auras, enchantments, and lands are permanents that hang around on the battlefield. Sorceries and instants are one and done, going to the graveyard after their effect takes place. The expansion symbol tells us what set a card is from and its rarity. Our text box tells us what the card does, but if you need help, just ask a friend. Creatures have a power and toughness. Power is how much damage a creature deals in combat. Toughness is how much damage is needed to destroy a creature. Auras power up a creature, giving it extra abilities. You can place them underneath a creature, like this. Now we can cast a spell. Mana comes from lands. You tap lands, or turn them sideways, to draw upon their mana. Volcanic Dragon costs 4 mana of any color and 2 red mana. We'll tap 2 forests for 2 green mana and 2 mountains for 2 red mana to pay 4 total. Then we'll tap 2 more mountains to pay 2 red. When lands are tapped for mana, we turn them sideways to show we can't use them again until our next turn. Magic is a turn-based game. You take a turn, and then I take a turn. Each player's turn is broken up into phases, which let you know what you can do and when. Your turn is broken down into 5 phases: the beginning phase, your first main phase, combat, a second main phase, and the end step. First is the beginning phase, which has 3 steps: untap, upkeep, and draw. During the untap step, you'll untap all your tapped cards. You'll go through an upkeep, which doesn't do anything on its own, but is referenced on some cards. Then comes the draw step, where you'll draw your card for the turn. Your pocket reference card lists these steps of a turn, if you forget. Say it with me: untap, upkeep, draw.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Untap, upkeep, draw.
Untap, upkeep, draw!
Nice. In the first main phase of your turn, you can cast spells and play 1 land card. Then you'll go to combat. You get to choose which, if any, of your creatures will attack, and your opponent can choose which, if any, of their creatures will block. Then each creature deals damage equal to their power. Goreclaw's 4 power means 4 damage to the opposing creature or player. Remember, your opponent starts at 20 life. Bring that to 0, and you win the game. In your second main phase, you may cast additional spells if you have enough mana to pay for them. You can also play a land for turn if you haven't already. On your end step, effects that say until end of turn end, and we pass the turn to our opponent. Whenever you take an action, like attacking with a creature or casting a spell, your opponent may respond with an instant spell. You can cast an instant at any time, even on your opponent's turn. To dive deeper into combat, let's look at another example. Savannah Lions is a 2/1, meaning it has 2 power and 1 toughness. If I attack with Savannah Lions and my opponent doesn't block, they take 2 damage. Savannah Lions is now tapped and can't block on my opponent's turn. If I attack with a Savannah Lions, however, and my opponent blocks with Cursed Minotaur, my creature deals 2 damage to Cursed Minotaur. Cursed Minotaur does 3 damage to Savannah Lions. Both die, heading to the graveyard. You attack a player, not their creatures. The defending player chooses how to line up blocks and can even line up 2, 3, or all of their blockers in the path of a single creature. Magic Academy Learn to Play is a chance to explore, jam some games, and meet people. Play games with anyone who is available for as long as you like. If you need help, you can consult your pocket reference card or rules brochure. Store staff or an experienced player can always help out too. Plus, our companion app has an incredible guide breaking down every part of the game with helpful videos. Want to keep learning on your own? Take home a beginner box. It includes a step-by-step tutorial that can be completed with 1 or 2 people. Without a doubt, it's the best way to continue learning to play. If you pick up any starter product today, including the beginner box or 6 Foundations play boosters, you'll also get this gorgeous promo. And don't forget to hold on to your cards. While you can drop by your local game store anytime, the next event you absolutely don't want to miss is the Magic Academy Deck Building event. We'll get you ready for the greatest Magic event of all, pre-release. It's an in-store celebration of the release of a new Magic set. Talk to staff at your store to learn when they're hosting a Magic Academy deck building event. Between now and then, download Magic the Gathering Arena. You can play on your computer or phone. There is an awesome new player tutorial so you can practice. You'll get to try out different cards, colors, and combos. The best way to play in person is at your local game store. Check out locator.wizards.com and your store's event calendar to find more events near you, including pre-release, Friday Night Magic, Commander Party, and more. Learning Magic is a journey of discovery. You'll figure out your favorite colors, find new cards and cool interactions, join events, and meet awesome new people. All right, open your welcome deck, shuffle up, and get ready for your first game of Magic.